Yo, what is good, guys? It is Jiedel, and welcome back to another story time. I'm glad to be bringing the story times back, and today I'm going to be talking about a massive mistake I made while I was interning for the National Football League. Dun, 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 dun. Before I was a big full-time YouTuber, I was an intern at the NFL, more specifically the NFL Network. I don't know if they're different companies or whatnot, to be honest. But I interned at the NFL Network in Culver City, Los Angeles, California. 2-hour drive from my dad's house. There and back. Not a fun drive. Stop it. What? Hey! You have to leave. Both of you have to leave. Anyway. Obviously, I applied to a ton of places after my junior year of college. I was like, bro, your boy, nearing the end of college. I have no real internship experience. I interned for like a radio station on campus, but really wasn't a real internship. Like all I did was record and edit like 2 videos a week for them, and it would take me like an hour to edit. It was like the easiest thing ever. I was like, okay, this is not real experience. If I want a real job coming out of college, gotta get my big boy internship. So I applied to like a gazillion places. The 2 places that got back to me, the NFL and the Guinness Book of World Records. First was the Guinness Book of World Records, and this is when I realized I am horrible at interviews. So they call me up. Their office is like, I want to say it was like in Times Square or somewhere really cool. Guinness Book of World Records completely bombed the interview. I remember like all they wanted to talk about was me being a fraternity president, and like they kept trying to make the questions go in ways I was like not ready for. They were like asking about shit that had nothing to do with working and stuff. So I just remember I left and being like, well, yeah, I bombed that. But then I'm on a fraternity trip to a conclave. Basically what that is like all of the fraternities of my fraternity and like, I don't know, the Northeast, because I went to college in New Jersey, would go meet up. So we were actually driving to one of those. So I'm in a packed car, and I got a call from the NFL, and I was like, oh, and everyone in the car was trying to get people to be quiet. Not really the best atmosphere for a phone call. Got my interview scheduled for the NFL. So like a week or 2 later, interview at the NFL. I nailed the interview, mostly because I applied to be the NFL's like YouTube intern. So literally what I did when I worked there was I just like uploaded all the YouTube videos, made all the thumbnails. That's like literally what I did. Ran all 3 of their channels, NFL, NFL Network, NFL Films. It was a really fun internship, but nailed the interview. Then I started f***ing up very badly. I say the person who interviewed me as Mr. Blank instead of Mrs. Blank in my email. Somehow they were okay with that. Literally misspelled their name in another email. I was so nervous every time I emailed them back and forth, because when I went to college, like my dream internship was like, I want to intern for the NFL. Like that was my absolute dream. Coming into college, I was a way bigger NFL fan than an NBA fan. So like, it was just like literally my dream to work for the NFL or work for the Giants. Like that was what I wanted to do more than anything when I entered college. Somehow I got hired. I remember I was a little nervous. Literally, like I was so nervous during the interview. They were like, what's your favorite team? And I was like, oh, I'm a Giants fan. And they're like, oh, I'm an Eagles fan. And I was like, definitely not getting the job. Hey, and the best part about being hired by the NFL was I got to tell Guinness Book of World Records that I was taking myself out of consideration. I literally thought about that. I was like, I'm so happy I get to write this email to them, because they probably think I'm the world's biggest idiot after my interview, but they didn't get to tell me no. I told them no. Probably wondering why the title of this video is my biggest up. I don't know what I'm titling this video, but you see the title of the video. It's not quite matching up to the story yet, and that was not my biggest mistake. First day at the NFL office in Culver City was a pretty cool day. I remember there's kind of like 2 buildings. 2 of them are like kind of connected on one side, and then there's the other building. Anyway, I'm walking across them, getting my tour. Roger Goodell. He's just there. He was literally there, like first day, 15 feet away from him. That's pretty much the extent of that story. I just saw him. We made eye contact. Probably was like, who the French toast is that scrawny looking kid? Actually, I was not very scrawny back then. I was, here, I have a picture of myself. The Rams tweeted about me. There it is. It's your boy here on the left. Pink polo. Looks like I'm about to bust out of that thing. Back in my 230-pound machine days. Yeah, I'm just gonna kind of go over some small things before I get to the story of my big mess up. Coolest moment when I was at the NFL internship. So next to the clocking in and clocking out station is a photo of LaDainian Tomlinson coming out of the tunnel. The next room over is like a hallway. Next to that hallway was my cubicle. So that hallway, I'm like clocking in for work. Every time I looked at this photo of LaDainian Tomlinson coming out of the tunnel, because it was such a badass photo. And LaDainian Tomlinson, when I started watching football, one of my favorite players. Walk over. So now I'm in the room with the hallway. I see LaDainian Tomlinson walking toward me in this hallway. I was like, what? It was just like, I just saw the photo of it, and then I saw like the real life but office version of the photo, and I was like, this is so cool, but it's like, I don't know, just really cool small moment. Most of the days, like, we're not like that. Most days I didn't really see a lot of NFL players. Maybe some former players who worked there. Maurice Jones-Drew was there a lot. He worked there at the time. Saw Greg Jennings there once. Dude, I saw O.C. Umenyiora. Wanted to say hi. Didn't get the chance. It was at like their company awards ceremony, which was actually really cool. They had Anthony Anderson spoke at it. Lunch there perfectly catered by Wolfgang Puck. Dude, interning, working at the NFL, freaking awesome. A funny thing that happened, Roger Goodell's Twitter got hacked the first day the Twitter intern started. So I started like 2 weeks before every other intern, because I was like, dude, I'm ready to go. Like I want to work. This was at the time where my YouTube channel, I started uploading like Overwatch. I was so like disillusioned with 2K. I was like, I'm gonna upload whatever I want. And y'all didn't mess with that. So I kind of like gave up on YouTube at the time, like low key, especially when I first started. And I was like, dude, I've got this kick-ass internship. I'm gonna work in the NFL when I'm older. Like, so the first day the Twitter interns came, Roger Goodell's Twitter got hacked, and they spent their whole day in like meetings about it. I don't know. I wasn't there. YouTube intern, bro, I never had any mess ups except for one. So that summer, I made the top 10 plays, so the list of the top 10 plays for every team in the NFL, except the Carolina Panthers. For some reason, their top 10 plays of the season video was uploaded before every other team's before I got there. Theirs was uploaded in like February or March. Like early in my internship, they're like, all right, you're gonna make like the top 10 plays of the season list for every team in the NFL. You're gonna, make the list. You're gonna send it to the video team. The video team will then compile it into the video, and then you will upload the video. So a lot of days I spent watching football highlights, try to rank them. The way I did it, if you go to the NFL website, I don't know if it's still like this. I'm guessing it is. It hasn't changed in like the 10 years I've been watching football. Every NFL game page, so I don't know, Bears versus Packers. It shows like at the bottom, maybe like the 20 best plays of the game. Some of them are labeled like Aaron Rodgers 76-yard touchdown pass Devontae Adams. And it's like, okay, I'm gonna watch that. So what I would do was I would go to these game pages. I would so let's say I'm doing the Cowboys. I would open all 16 Cowboys games, and then I'd watch all the Cowboys highlights from each game. Now sometimes these plays would be labeled like Ezekiel Elliott 4-yard rush. And I'd be like, okay, why is this a highlight? So most of the time I would watch those, because it was like, all right, if it's there, something memorable must have happened, right? So I upload my top 10 plays of the season for these teams. No one has an issue with my list. I mean, obviously people have an issue with every top 10 list, but none of them are like overwhelmingly like, I don't like this list. Actually, the only team I really got a lot of negative feedback on, ironically, was the Giants, which was my favorite team, because I think like I chose Odell highlights for almost every highlight. Everyone's like, why is it only Odell? I don't know, maybe it's because Odell was our only good player that year. Anyway, the Seahawks. My Seahawks list was so bad. The comments on that video were so toxic. My manager changed the name of the video to 10 good Seahawks plays. That video is still up on YouTube. It is now called 10 Memorable Seahawks Plays from 2015. We're going to be posting a new and improved Seahawks top 10 tomorrow with Cam Chancellor's strip of Megatron at the goal line and the flea flicker TD. We have heard your comments. So, yeah, apparently I just missed these. I missed the mark somehow. I'm gonna count the Giants as a win. Literally 30 of 31 teams, I nailed it. The Seahawks, I fumbled the bag. And then this is where it gets funny, because the comments stop being toxic as much as like, these are only good plays? I can't wait to see the real top 10. How come every team's video says top 10 plays, but for my Seahawks, we only get 10 good Seahawks plays? 10 good Seahawks plays. Well done, NFL. I am sorry, NFL. I have brought shame to your name. So yeah, I really don't know what happened. I must have just literally missed a ton of plays. It was bad. So we re-uploaded the video. They did not make me make the list the second time around. They had somebody else do it. Yeah, that was bad. That was pretty bad. So if you were mad about your team's top 10 plays that season, you can direct all your hatred toward me. Unless you're a Panthers fan, I have nothing to do with that. What else? Do I have anything? I do have something else, actually. All right, I'm gonna show y'all guys something I did. So at the end of my internship, I was pretty good at the process. Like most days I would end up with like at least like 45 minutes to an hour of free time. Like honestly, like I had so much time because I was just really fast at what I did. You know, I was pretty passionate about the job at the time, so like I was pretty good at just finishing stuff early. So when I finished early, I started this challenge where I would try to draw NFL players only using one type of brush in Photoshop, and I'm just gonna show you guys some of these gems because they're great. Got Brandon Marshall, this is the original photo. Keenan Allen, this one turned out pretty good. You like that? I think this is Luke Kuechly, kind of good, kind of good. Andrew Luck, oh god, this is bad. This is the original photo. Odell Beckham, it's okay, it's okay, did all right. Otto Graham, we got a throwback player. You see me, I'll try to do every team. Russell Wilson, that is awful. Von Miller. Oh yeah, I used a brush that changed. So for Von Miller, I used a brush that changed the like color and shape every time you did it, and I just created this monster. Those were all my drawings. And yeah, you know, I left my internship, had a great time, and then I became a YouTuber. So that is my short story of my biggest fuck up at the NFL Network. Again, it was a pretty standard job, all things considered. It was a lot of fun, but at the end of the day, a job is a job. I loved working there. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this story time. I hope you guys have been enjoying this story time and the last story time. If you missed the last story time, I'm gonna link it down in the description, or you can click it, you can do something with it over here. Yeah, I'll just roll with that. Subscribe if you haven't. A lot of you ain't subscribed, or you're not subscribing. And peace.